Well, the same day, Talladega Mayor Larry Barton lost his bid for a 5th term. Talladega County Circuit Judge Julian King also ruled against Barton in a civil suit that he sought to clarify the powers and duties of the mayor. King's order finds in favor of the city, denies Barton all requested relief, and orders that all costs are hereby taxed to Barton as well. That decision was made public on Tuesday. In 2002, the Talladega County voters approved Amendment 738 to the Alabama Constitution of 1901, which created a version of city manager form of government that applied to Talladega alone. Under this amendment, the mayor designated as the head of the city government for ceremonial purposes only. Now, last year, during the council's debate on appointing a new municipal court judge, some questions arose as to the mayor's appointing authority. Barton said he believed that he had the legal authority to sign certain documents and to make certain appointments. He had other executive powers as well and filed suit in Talladega Circuit Court. According to King, he said, quote, "The court finds that there is no genuine issue as to any material fact, and the defendants are entitled to a judgment as a matter of law under the state civil laws. In addition, the defendants, the city of Talladega, would be entitled to a judgment on pleadings because there is absolutely no dispute between the parties as to the passage of Constitutional Amendment 738. Constitutional Amendment 738 is not unconstitutional." King then grants the city's motion for summary judgment, resolves all pending issues, and denies all relief requested by the plaintiff according to the ruling. Now, Barton yesterday said that he'd been contacted by his attorney who had told him that the ruling had not gone their way. He had not seen the ruling himself or discussed it with his attorney, however. Although he couldn't comment yesterday, Barton did say that he would be meeting with his lawyer in Birmingham early next week and would figure out where to go from there. He said he could not comment on whether King's ruling would be appealed. Now, according to city records, defending the case in court has cost the taxpayers $46,584.32 in legal fees, which is not covered under the court costs that Barton will be responsible for. Talladega City Manager Patrick Bryant issued a written statement Tuesday night saying the city of Talladega is appreciative that the matter is now behind them. We'll continue providing good government to our residents and will stay committed to ensuring that Talladega is a great place to live, work, and play. Barton's term as mayor expires on November the 2nd as some 3,261 Talladega voters out of a total of around 9,400 registered voters went to the polls on Tuesday to cast votes to decide mayor races for mayor, city council, and the City Board of Education. As it turns out, the totals were up somewhat from the 3,032 votes cast in 2011 during the last election cycle, but down from 3,759 cast in 2007. Tuesday's election had at least one thing in common with the last several election cycles: Larry Barton among those running for mayor. The spotlight on the mayor's race was even brighter this year after Barton was recently assaulted at a barbershop in Vestavia Hills where he cuts hair. Benny Green, a former co-host of Barton's radio and TV show, was charged in the case. An attorney who formerly represented Green in the divorce case said that Green was motivated by an alleged sex tape featuring Barton and Green's wife. During the 2004 election, incumbent Brian York won the first round of voting, but faced Barton in a runoff, which York also won. Wes Patterson was the only other candidate for mayor that year. In 2011, York had announced that he was not running for a third term, leaving Barton along with Harvey Boland, Sandra Bellamy, and Bobby Baker Trammell vying for the office. Barton and Boland went to the runoff, which Barton won. In Tuesday night's election, Barton had a decisive margin in absentee ballots and in Ward 1, but he lost to Jerry Cooper at every other polling station. Among absentee voters, Barton got 193 votes to Cooper's 55 and Van Caldwell's 7 votes. Barton down in all the wards in this year's mayoral election in Talladega. Well, the third flavor of Bluebell has been announced, and it is cookies and cream. The third flavor, Bluebell Creamers, plans on having available when it returns August the 31st. The Texas-based company continues to slowly roll out its production line, and making the announcement yesterday via Instagram. Homemade vanilla and Dutch chocolate were there as well, according to previous company announcements this week. Bluebell has continued to use a social media strategy for making announcements of new developments as the company inches back from a months-long production shutdown following a listeria outbreak. Now, according to the company spokesperson, the flavors revealed so far as our top 3 fan favorites. He said, we've got one more to share, and that will be today. The Sylacauga company, the company's Sylacauga plant is currently the only Bluebell plant operating, as plants in Texas and Oklahoma continue cleaning and training programs. And Bluebell ice cream set to hit the shelves on Monday, August the 31st. Remember, they've got one more flavor today. What will it be? I'll stick with strawberry. Margaret Johnson of Talladega lost her home in a fire on August the 14th. Johnson is the daughter of Margaret Sugarfoot Johnson and the granddaughter of longtime residents Cora and Maddie Pointer Maxwell. She's a 06 graduate of Talladega College and recently found out she's expecting a baby in February of 16. Now, the home was a total loss, including furnishings, clothing, and personal items. And the fund has been set up at Regions Bank in Talladega for donations. Donations can also be made at Southside Baptist Church. Sylacauga Board of Education approved a number of personnel actions, including 15 hirings and 9 supplements at this week's meeting. Prior to the meeting, the board held a budget work session. Employment action included hirings of Brett Fleeman, career preparedness teacher at Nichols Lawson, Sharika McGee, child nutrition program manager at Sylacauga High, Lisa Reeves, homebound instructor, Jackie Potts, homebound instructor, and Therrell Shira, homebound instructor, Crystal Threet, substitute teacher, Ebony Truss, substitute teacher, Latrice Johnson, substitute teacher, Janice Helton, substitute teacher, and Gloria Wood, substitute teacher, as well as Sonia Mills and April Ursery as substitute teacher. Taran Burns, CNP substitute, Audrey Wilson, substitute bus driver, and Pam Kahn, intermittent supply teacher at Pinecrest Elementary School. Also, those receiving supplemental pay were Chad Slayton, 7th and 8th grade assistant football coach at Nichols Lawson, along with others. And the board accepted the retirement of Christy Kane, career and technical education director, effective in October. And finally, it's volleyball season. Volleyball begins today. For the past couple of years, teams in Talladega County have been more than competitive, with Winterboro reaching the Elite 8 in 2013 and Sylacauga making a deep run in the Central Super Regional Tournament last season. Sylacauga has been the runner-up in the county for the past several seasons, but head coach Sean Stevens' team seems to be the early favorite for 2015. Lincoln head coach Patty Hansen expects her team to be stronger too than in the previous seasons. Under Hansen, Lincoln won the county 7 years in a row before being dethroned by Talladega in 2013. I love trains, and I love passenger trains. I like to read stories of where passenger trains go. Well, yesterday in Sylacauga, a Norfolk Southern executive passenger train was on the rails. And these executives, are 4 of them, and they go around the country on the tracks and checking out Norfolk Southern properties. Let's take a look. That's Norfolk Southern. I don't see many passenger trains coming through Sylacauga, Alabama anymore, but that was one from yesterday in downtown Sylacauga.